Hello. Take two, because technology wanted to just throw me right under the bus. Anyway. It's been a lot the last wee while. Now I know I told you all that I was going to try and do as many visuals as possible during these 2 weeks, but I did not expect to be unwell for 4 weeks. So I apologise. But this is going out on Friday the something. Friday the 3rd of January 2025. And hopefully Saturday, Sundays should be both audio. No, yes, they will be audio, but I'm hoping that they'll also be visual. We will see. So, how are you finding just surviving this winter? How many have had the norovirus winter flu thing that's going about, whatever you want to call it? Everybody's calling it something different. Everybody's maybe got something different. I genuinely, and right, we all know I can be dramatic. I'll only admit I'm one of the most dramatic people you'll ever find, especially if I'm not well. I mean, I'll have a cut in my finger and I'll phone somebody I know that's medical and I think I need my finger amputated. But I genuinely was worried, scared to go to sleep last night because I didn't think I was going to wake up in the morning. I was terrified to the point, right, you said I'm going to laugh at this one, but in Aileen's world this made sense, right? So just bear in mind, Aileen's world and normal people's world isn't always the same. So I set an alarm so that I could hear the alarm and know I was still alive. I mean, if the worst did happen, that alarm wasn't doing anything for me. It wasn't going to wake me up, but it gave me a wee bit of peace of mind. Although I still was too scared to go to sleep, so I think I went to sleep about somewhere between 1 and 2 in the morning. Woke up at 3:15, woke up at 3:45, woke up at the back of 4, woke up at the back of 5. One of the ones, you know, and then my alarm went off. My alarm was set for 7 and I was already waking by then. I think I woke up at 6 and I was like, no, I'm not taking any chances here. I'm staying awake. And I've just laid about as much as possible today because I have zero energy whenever I'm upright. I feel as if I'm going to the room's going for a wee spin, and so am I. I was going to go to the pharmacy today and speak to the pharmacist and see if I could get a wee something, but I don't think it would have been safe for me to drive. So, I mean, my son would have took me. To be honest with you, I couldn't be bothered. There was zero energy going anywhere. So that might happen another day. Then again, it might not. I mean, I've got the doctors in just over a week. If I'm still like this, then surely she'll give me something then, because by that point I'll be not well for like 6-7 weeks. I mean, I don't know, because we all know what it's like trying to get something off your doctor in the UK. I think the rest of the world it's a bit easier in getting stuff because you pay per appointment, don't you? Or some countries you maybe pay for your appointments, you pay for your treatment, you pay for everything, whereas our NHS treatment comes out of our taxes and things that we pay. So, listen, doom and gloom, let's get away from that malarkey. We catch up today. This one's chilled because I don't think I've got the brain cells. I mean, it was always going to be a catch up one anyway, that's what's written down my bit of paper. But I think even if it wasn't, it would need to be, because we're currently sitting at the desk with a sick bowl beside us. I also have my handy fan, my wee fan. and that'll be going on every 10 minutes, I think. I mean, that feels good. Some people say that in other reasons. I just want to cool down. I've got my fan, I've got my fluids, I've got, what else did I say, my sick bowl, and I've got my bit of paper. And let's hope for the best. So, I mean, I say let's have a catch up. There's no much catching up with me, is there? Because I've been lying in my sick bed for God knows how long. I do get up and feed my kids, although they came in, well, the older one sent the wee one in. I say the wee one, he's 18. Sent him in to ask me what was for dinner tonight, and the usual, everybody's having something different because everybody likes something different. So I was giving them their options of what's left in the kitchen, in the freezer, in the fridges, in the cupboards, in the whatever, wherever there's food. I was telling them what's left because I'm going for a shop. It's supposed to be tomorrow, it might be Saturday, it might be Sunday, it might be never. Might end up getting a delivery for that as well. And I said, well, I've got this and I've got that and I've got whatever. But if you really want, if you don't want any of that, do you know that way you say that as if you're putting the choice on them. I mean, if you don't want anything that's in there, we could just order something in. But in actual fact, that was more so that I don't need to stand over a hot cooker and cook while I've got like a temperature at whatever degrees it is. I mean, I'm practically kicking about naked at this point because I'm too hot, and that's not a pretty sight for anybody. I just took the bin out because it gets empty tomorrow. But I just had my dressing gown on and like basically nothing under it. And all I kept thinking was, I get that cold air on me. I mean, I didn't flash or anything like that, but I think if my neighbour wasn't walking down our stairs, I might have just got myself cooled right down. I'm kidding, no, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't want to scare anybody. It's not even the fact of getting an asbots. The poor neighbour's eyes would burn seeing what's under my dressing gown. So I've not got an awful lot to catch up on, but I was saying to my son today, I want to go and see that new Robbie Williams biopic or whatever it's called. I mean, I've not really seen any trailers for it, but I am a die-hard Robbie Williams fan, and do not come for me. Do not come for Robbie. Have I ever told you this story? Do you want to hear it? I mean, I'm going to tell you anyway. When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what shall I be? That wasn't what I was going to sing. I wasn't going to sing there, but you know I've got to when a song comes into my head. So when I was I wasn't a big Take That fan. I liked them, but I wasn't a huge fan, whereas I've got a friend who was die hard and would cry and everything, and I'm like, pull yourself together, friend. Come on, calm down. I had a few friends like that actually within the same friendship circle, but I was never a big Take That fan. But after Robbie Williams, I did like Robbie Williams and he was my favourite in Take That, but after he left Take That, he was for me. I even told my oldest, no, don't judge me on this one either, I was mentally impaired at the point. I had mental illnesses. I didn't understand at the time, he was a baby. Robbie Williams came on the telly and I don't even know if he was a year old yet, and I'm like, he's got to be your daddy. I might edit that bit out because I don't know if I can keep that in. That might not help the rest of the story I'm going to tell you. So when I was about, I think, I'm trying to think, 22, 23, something like that, Robbie Williams came to Glasgow to do a big concert at Hampden Park, and me and my brother and his pal and his pal's mum and all that, we all got tickets for it, and that was fine. Me and my brother were in the city bit and they were in the standing bit, and but was it after that or was it before that? I can't remember. I decided I was going to write a letter to Robbie Williams. I think it was before that. I think it was during his drug problems? I can't remember, right, but I was writing this big empathetic letter to him, and at the end of it, I think I declared my undying love, and probably told him I was the only person that could understand him. Listen, I was winning his heart somehow, but then bottled it. Not so much that I bottled it, I didn't know where to send it, and you didn't have internet back then. You've got to remember I'm old. You didn't have the internet back then where you could just Google how do I send a letter to Robbie Williams or anything like that, do you know? So, didn't send a letter, went to the concert on the Saturday night. Monday morning, there was a story on the front page of the newspapers about this Robbie Williams has got a female stalker and blah blah blah. Do you know everybody was phoning my mum and asking if it was me? Even my mum questioned if it was me. My cousin questioned if it was me. My best pals were questioning if it was me. Now, I wasn't arrested for anything, and I'm innocent. I mean, if I had the opportunity to be a stalker, I potentially would have. But I had a baby to look after. I had a baby. I couldn't be stalking anybody. I never had time for that malarkey. No, I wouldn't be anybody's stalker. That's too far. But I may have let him befriend me if he wanted to. I may have let him marry me if he wanted to. But clearly our paths did not cross, or he'd be in love with me at the minute. I mean, I'm joking. But yeah, so I was besotted with him. It was quite funny at this, like, not to the extent that I couldn't see past him and I didn't see that if he was doing anything wrong or anything like that. I don't mean it like that, but I really liked him, and I think I wanted to settle down and marry him. I mean, God, I think it'd be hard work. But yeah, so that's my story about me and Robbie Williams. Our paths have never crossed. So Robbie, if you're listening, pal, my phone's on, my DMs are opened, and if you want to send me an email, but feel free. I mean, I don't want to be in a relationship with you anymore because you're married and you've got kiddies. I don't do that sort of thing. But if you would like a friend who's empathetic and will listen without judging, I am here. But anyway, I want to go and see the biopic. And probably the one pal who might have went to go and see it with me because she was probably kind of sort of as much yet. Not quite. I don't think any of my pals were quite on the same way. I don't think they've ever been the same wavelengths as me. But the one pal that probably would have came with me, don't see her anymore, not seen her for years because she's all loved up. So I've just got to wait till it comes out. And I know you can all say you can go and see it yourself. I would go and see it myself. I've got a few things going on privately now that makes me I can't go and see it myself. For one, if my son's at school, I can't go because you get no signal, and I tend to get SOSs quite a lot to go and save him. Here I come to save the day. I'm like Wonder Woman. Although I bet her, no, I'm not saying it. Zip it, lock it, stick it in your pocket. I don't even know that full saying because that wasn't a thing when I was wee, I don't think. I remember the boys always saying it when they were wee, so I maybe get them to teach me it because I've said it to you twice now, and both times I've said it differently. Unless any of you know that, and then you can tell me. So, is there anything in the cinema that any of you want to go and see, or if you've got a concert coming up, or are you a mad stalker of any pop star or any famous people? Hate that word, famous. Not that I hate it, I don't mean it like that. Oh, I hate that word. I don't mean it like that. I think it's thrown about too easily now. It's like, if you've been on the telly once, or if you've been in the newspaper, or been on a magazine, or whatever, oh my God, you're famous. And you get a lot of people who have that fame entitled, what am I trying to say? They feel entitled to be called famous. So you've got social media now, and you've got a lot of people on social media who might have a lot of followers. I mean, there's certain apps that I know you can buy followers, so they're maybe not all genuine, but they think because they've got X amount of followers, they're famous. When I was just a little girl, when I was a little girl, when I was young, when I was growing up, even before that, and even to an extent after, when I was like early adulthood, fame was about your talent, and fame was about your career. So like your music career, your acting career, your journalism, anything like that. If you made a name for yourself in that sense, and you had a talent, then you could become famous potentially. No, nowadays you just need to start arguing with somebody on social media, and all of a sudden, ta-da, you're famous. I mean, if it was that easy, I could do it, no bother. Back then, not now. I'm a changed person now. Maybe. Sometimes, depending what time of the month you get me. But, what's your thoughts on this? Everybody thinks they're famous. So, obviously, before social media, and before all your, what do you call them? Reality programmes. Before you had all that, you had to work hard to have consistent work and to also become, in inverted commas, famous. But not so much now. Not so much now. Now you just need to think you're famous, and you can say you're famous. I mean, you do you, and if that works for you, and if that makes you feel a wee bit better yourself, that's fine. But at the same time, don't you can't just throw words about. I mean, I could say I'm a multi-millionaire. Doesn't mean it's real. I could say I've got 10 houses. No, we know that's not real. It's a wee bit of a reality check, isn't it? Like, don't run before you can walk. Can't breathe again. This is ridiculous. Stay away from anybody that's got man flu at the minute, or female flu, or norovirus, or any kind of flu-like symptoms, because, dear God, it takes over your whole life. It takes over your whole... I mean, it was nearly taking my whole life last night, I'm telling you. I'm not even lying. And that's not even me being dramatic. I mean, it is me being dramatic, but we don't tell anybody that. I genuinely was terrified last night. And when I told Tracy this morning, she's like, oh my God, that's how her son felt a couple of weeks ago. He even went to the hospital. They never done anything for him though. But he's fine now. He only had it for like a weekend. I've had it for all these weeks. I'm not playing this game anymore. I'm a busy woman. I've got things to be doing. I mean, not the day, but I could have. And nobody's caring. My wee granny should be up there going like that. Oh, let's make her feel a wee bit better. But I bet she's up there having a wee party to herself. She'll be up there playing cards and gambling, and she'll be on the puggies. She'll be having her hair tear. Living her best afterlife. So what is your plans for the weekend? So we spoke about this last weekend, didn't we? About because it was the between Christmas and New Year. Do you still do your normal, if you normally go out the weekend, do you still do that, or do you wait till New Year? But now we're past this a New Year thing. Some people are over it, but then some people are genuinely skint by this point, me included, because you maybe get paid early, due to Christmas and New Year and whatever else, in your accounts department, or your wages department, whatever, might be closed in your work, so over the 2 weeks or whatever, so they might put your wages out for like Christmas Eve or a couple of days before Christmas. So you get that. It's normally extra week or two longer before you need to get paid. So are you watching the pennies at the minute? I'm always watching the pennies. They say look after the pennies and the pounds will look after themselves. Well, my pounds are looking after themselves in somebody else's bank account because they're not in mine. Come on now, fair's fair. Try my best here. Sometimes it feels like that, doesn't it? I'm genuinely joking here. But sometimes it does feel like that. That it doesn't matter what you do. Like, you could save and save and save, and you just start to get somewhere, and then your washing machine breaks, or your cooker, or whatever. And then they say it happens in threes, and a lot of the time it does happen in three. I remember my washing machine went, my cooker went, something else, I can't remember what it was, and I was like, nah, no playing this game anymore. Done. Sick of it. Don't want to be an adult anymore. My son's got the right idea about not wanting to turn 18, although you can't stop it, but I don't blame him. He watches how much of a riot his mum is, and he's like, I don't want to turn out like her. If that's what adulting is, I'm out. So, who is still gonna and who's not? It's too cold. I know I sound like a real woman now, but I'm genuinely in that phase in my life where I just enjoy staying in, and whether it be on my own or with friends or whoever, I don't care. Like, I enjoy my own company. Not many other people enjoy it, so somebody's got to enjoy it. One of my pals keeps saying to me, he's like, oh, do you want to do this, do you want to do that? And I'm like to him, no, I genuinely don't even want to leave my house. And then he'll say to me, do you want me to come down and visit? And I'm like, no, don't want visitors either. Maybe that will change when I move, but then again, maybe not. The thing, I don't mind during the day. Like, if I'm not working during the day, if I've got like a free space or whatever, free day, I tend to go and meet up with friends then. But see, once I'm in the house at night, I'm in my chilled out zone. I think that's just because of the way a lot of things within our setup is. Between, I've got a lot of illnesses, my son's got additional support needs, my other son who's always working. We just do what we've got to do. And then obviously when I'm working or whatever else, I need to take my mum to the shops, or it's a lot. It can be a lot. Some days it's quieter than others, but other days you're like, dear me. Sometimes I take her to the shops and I say to my son, go send me an SOS in about an hour and a half, and he's like, why? And I said, because if you don't text me and say you need me to come home, I'll be out here for 3-4 hours, and then I'll come in and I'll be like, it's been 3.5 hours and you've no text me yet. And he's like, oh, I forgot. Nobody cares about Aileen. Nobody cares that Aileen's getting dragged here, there and everywhere. As long as they're getting fed, by the time I come home they don't care about me. Who's starting to think about holidays? Me. Although probably not for this year, because just in case I've not told you before, but I've told you about 5 million times, we're home to move in the next month or two. We just need to find a house. But there's a wee holiday I'm thinking about as a surprise, maybe next year. We just need to watch the pennies and see if the pounds actually start growing in my bank account instead of somebody else's. If the pounds start coming into my bank account, then I'll be there. And it's one of the ones that's going to be a once in a lifetime potentially. Especially for the threes to go together, I think. And it's not one that a lot of people would necessarily think of. I don't want to say it on here in case anybody listens and tells the boys, because it's going to be a secret if we do it. But I also don't want to get their hopes built up in case I keep watching the pennies and the pounds still don't grow. It's not a beach holiday, let's say that, which would be my preferred choice, but I'm actually quite excited about this one because it could be quite interesting. If you think you know what it is, or if you think if you can get me good package deals, good deals on holidays, message me. I mean, I won't be booking any holiday anytime soon, but so any of you thinking about holidays, and where are you thinking about? Do you go the same place every year? My cousin goes to the same place. I'm sure she goes to the same part of Greece every year, and she has done for. Now, how many years does she tell me? 20 years? Maybe more than that? 18? Maybe more than that? Maybe I can't remember if it's more than 20. Something along the lines, I'm sure. And then her and her husband turned 50 this year, so the family, her daughters and his side of the family and whoever, all kind of chipped in, and they got them a holiday for 4 weeks. Sorry, every time. Sent them over there for 4 weeks and like gave them money and all that for going, which is lovely, isn't it? Because it's one of the big holidays that you want to avoid as long as possible. I'm nearly there. I'm ready for touching that touchline, and I don't want to. So she goes to a part of Greece, but I can't remember where it is. My son, we all loved it. We've only been to Greece once and we all loved it. We all know the disaster Spain was for us the last time we went. I don't think my son will want to go to Spain ever again. Where else? Portugal. I love Portugal. I'm trying to think where else I've been. If you're talking about abroad, I've not really been many other places. Like, it's more Spain and Portugal we went to when we were teenagers, and then obviously I took the boys to Greece and a few places in Spain. But yeah, we're doing something outside the norm. I like Belfast as well. It's a beautiful country, a beautiful part of the island, Northern Ireland. But there's also some lovely places in the UK, and I did say that I think I want a holiday in the UK for the next few years. But we'll see. We will see. I said to my dad stays in England, so I said we'll maybe go down there in a couple of weeks. Because we've obviously never seen him over Christmas and that. But that'll be the weather dependent. And I said to him I'm not going down until this bug's fully away, because there's no point in taking that down with me and everybody else. Everybody down there getting on well. Especially with my dad having had his heart bypass, triple, no, I think it was might be a triple and it ended up a double, something or the other way about. A couple of years ago, was it 2022 or 2023, I can't remember, because the days all roll into one. I'm sure he's coming up in 2 years, so that'll be 2020, no, I don't know, I think it's 2 years ago he had it. I'm almost positive. No, it wasn't 3 years ago, but it could have been. So yes, that is about as exciting as January gets, isn't it? It's full of dreams and full of hopes and full of wishes. Everybody thinking about how to get back into their summer clothes, because Christmas just leaves a lasting ring around our bodies. Does it to everybody. I'm not so bad this year, purely because nothing stayed down for me, and that's not me bragging. I didn't get to enjoy any of my food I bought very much, and then in between I've not really ate very much either, so, but it's not made any difference to my waistline. I can tell you that my clothes still fit me the same. Nothing is feeling any sort of way. I mean, I've hardly been in clothes. I thought, right, that sounds bad, I don't mean it like that. I've been living in like pyjamas and dressing gowns and hoodies and whatever. I've not actually got fully dressed unless I was going to definitely leave the house, which I would say in the last week has only happened maybe once. No, it's just it's January malarkey. I think we just all need to forget that January's a long month. We all just need to take it a day at a time and enjoy, be there for each other, and kind of change the subject when everybody starts, or let people see a difference. So if you're looking at January for a different angle as one of your friends, try and get them to look for a more positive angle, although I know that can be quite hard. As somebody, I find that's quite I've had a few clients, and this isn't me saying anything bad about them, because when anybody comes for therapy or coaching or whatever, they always come with a certain mindset, and my job is to kind of identify where their mindset's at and how I can make it better or change it or tweak it, whatever it may be, or help them with the thoughts that they've got, like help them progress their thoughts or their goals or ambitions or whatever. But you do sometimes get somebody and they come and they're like, but no, Aileen, and they'll literally argue with you until they're blue in the face, that full session, and then like a couple of weeks down the line they'll say something, you'll be like, that's what I said to you a couple of weeks ago. Has the penny dropped? But you can always tell when somebody's having an off day, if it's a client that's been with you for a wee while especially, and they're maybe having an off day, so you don't push it too much. You shouldn't push it too much anyway, but you tread carefully, because you don't want to make their day worse either. And sometimes they'll say to you, oh yeah, blah blah blah, and they're just, you can tell with somebody's tone of voice and how the chat's flowing, what kind of mood they're in, what kind of day they're having. And then maybe the next week and they'll say, I'm sorry, I wasn't feeling my bit, and I'll just say, listen, I know you well enough by now, don't worry about it, that was last week, we move on. There's no grudges held within this space, and there's no judgment. As long as you're not verbally abusive or physically abusive to me, we move. So yes, it's interesting though, because you get different people with different situations, but you also, although they're all so different from each other, there may be certain things that everybody does and don't realise it, or a lot of people do, they don't realise it, which I won't go into, because I'm not going to like give any information away about anybody or anything like that. But yeah, listen, we're all human, and if we didn't make mistakes, or if we didn't kind of ask for help, we would never learn. I still ask for help. I still, for all I coach and I do this and I do that, sometimes it's easier for somebody else to look at your situation than it is for you. So if I feel as if I need help, whether it be within my business or in my personal life, I'll go and ask for the help as well. And it's a journey, and it's good to have fresh eyes on things as well. And it's also about connecting with new people and life, just life in general. Every day's a learning day, every day's a school day, and it could be something minute that you're learning, you don't even realise you're learning it. But every day's a day to learn, and every day's a day to start over, if you want to. My sons tell me things though, like, I was never great at school, just in case you haven't noticed that yet. I just thought I'd let you know. I was good at some things and not so good at others. My mum said, although to an extent I agree with her, but to another extent I think she just likes to talk absolute pants sometimes, and she'll say, you were good at school until you decided that you wanted a boyfriend. Not that you want a boyfriend, but once you notice boys type thing. See that when you get to that age. But that was an out and out lie, because every single report card I've had for the day I started school all say the same thing. They all say, I'm easily distracted, I talk too much, I don't do the work, if I applied myself. Like, please tell me where in that changed when I noticed boys, because it really didn't. Excuse me, Helen. Stop talking rubbish. So, what was I saying? Yes, I wasn't very good at school, so I never took geography. One, because I wasn't sure if I went to I didn't like geography. No, history, sorry, I didn't take history, I took geography. But I didn't like either. Not that I didn't like either. See, the teachers at my school, some of them were absolutely shocking. The history teacher was an alcoholic. And the geography teacher, I couldn't learn anything for the way he taught. So that was like your two subjects. Or you had modern studies. And I don't know about nowadays, but back then modern studies was all about politics and all that, and no, I'm not into all that. Like, now, obviously, because I've got a business and because I've got kids and whatever else, and because I'm an adult, I kind of look into it when it's for things that I need to or whatever else. But as a teenager, no, unless you were interested in all that, or it was something that you maybe needed going forward in life. Who the hell's picking modern studies? So you had geography or you had history. History teacher was an alky that used to sit with his half bottle of whiskey either behind his bin or in his cupboard. And then the geography teacher just hated me anyway. So I picked geography because I thought, well, that's the easiest out of the two. Although you had to read maps and things like that, and I couldn't read a map. You had to know about all these elements, would you call them, all these tools and everything, for if you wanted to know what the weather was going to be like. Who needs to know that? Watch Weatherman. That's what he's there for, or she's there for. So there was one day I was in geography, and I think I've told you this one before, and the geography teacher was gathering on everybody's homework, and of course everybody gave theirs in, and it got to me, and he's like, Aileen, homework, and I was like, but I never ever done homework at school, ever, unless it was a teacher I liked, or a subject I liked. I never done homework. And I says, oh sir, my bag's broke and my homework's in my bag and I can't get it out. Now 50% of that story was true, and I'm sure you can guess what 50% it was true. The bag was broke and I couldn't get the zip opened. He got my bag opened, and I'm like, oh sir, mum was going to come up here and leather you, she's got to tell you need to buy me a new bag. And he's like, never mind that, Aileen, where's your homework? And I was like, oh, I must have forgot to put it in my bag. So I had to walk about with a bag that he had cut open for the rest of the day. And then I told my mum, and I think she was just kind of like, well, you should have done your homework. And I'm like, but I've got a broken bag. Like, doesn't anybody care about Aileen? No. Typical teenager. And then me and my pal from school, we were talking about this last night, about how one of the French teachers, we both loved her, she was brilliant. But I think I only had her in first year, and I can't remember if I had her in second year. But she was so nice, and she used to just kick about the school, talking French to everybody, and you were supposed to know what she was saying. And she wasn't French, she was Scottish. Who else? Maths. I liked maths, but didn't particularly like any of the teachers I had. Science, I was absolute crap at science, and I was forced to take biology in third and fourth year because I think the other science teacher would take me because I hated it that much. And it ended up the science teacher, the biology teacher, done all my class tests for me and just let me sit talking to my pals in the corner because I was that crap at it. Office studies, and what was the other one I done? Accounts. I loved them, so I was good with them, but the teacher used to get dead annoyed with me because I talked too much. What other class? English I wasn't great at. We've had this conversation, but the teachers were alright. Guidance, you never really done anything in there, you just kind of talked a lot of rubbish. What else is there? Computing. Never really done computing. It was one of the ones you done it for a couple of months every now and again. And the computing teacher was, I think he was on another planet. Art teacher was a pervert. PE teachers were perverts, well, the male ones, one of the male ones, I better not tar them all with the same brush. One of them was a pervert, the other, and the female one was having an affair with one of the other ones. But we'll not give any names. And then we had an alcoholic in the maths department as well. What other departments? Home ec, which was like your cooking and your sewing and all that. Do you know, our home ec, one of our home ec teachers was to say, I'm sure she done the office studies as well. I wasn't that fussed on home ec. I liked it, but I didn't love it. It didn't bother me. I think that was kind of Ari hated it. Not that I hated it, I just found it dead boring. And I think a lot of it's to do with the teacher, isn't it? How they teach and how they talk to the pupil. And also, my school was wild at times. My classes were wild. Some of the people in my classes were mental, to the point where the teachers would run out greeting. We were talking about that last night as well. We had a French and German teacher. I took French, but she also taught German. And she would try and take authority of the class, and she was never taking authority of any classes because she just didn't have it in her. God love it. I say she should have been a primary teacher. My pal says she should have been a nursery teacher, and I just think the nursery ones would have terrorised her as well. So I think primary teacher. Anyway, she would get like a bundle of rulers, and she would stand and hit them off her hand as if, right, I'm the teacher and you will listen to me. And then within 30 seconds she'd be running out greeting because one of the boys would have said something to her. Oh, God love that wee soul. I don't know how she survived all the years she was in that school. But I was never really in trouble at school. I was just a pure airhead. Listen, I might as well say it because everybody else will tell you anyway. Wasn't I was an airhead? I wasn't an airhead as in Barbie or anything. No Barbie, but you know what I mean. That kind of idea. I wasn't like that. Like, I can hold a conversation and I can learn certain things. I was just too interested in life. I was just too interested in enjoying life and talking. Talking was my thing. Like, I've always talked. I just don't know. But life is life, isn't it? Life is what you make it, and what you do with yours might not necessarily be what somebody else would do with theirs. Like, a lot of people think that I'm dead confident in everything else. And see, if you would have seen me, I was going to say 10 years ago, but not even as much as that. Maybe actually. I'd say when I've always had confidence as long as I'm in my circle, so my circle of friends to an extent, but probably not as much confidence as what I've got now. But I would feel comfortable, maybe not confident, but more comfortable as long as it's my circle of friends. But the minute it was anybody that I didn't know, I wasn't as comfortable. And that's kind of normal, I suppose, growing up, because you learn these things. But it wasn't until I started working, doing the parties with Ann Summers, really, where I started to really get my confidence and build my confidence, because then it showed me that apart from anything else, I became a manager and had my own team. And I would never have thought that I could have done that, but that was, I suppose, to an extent, my team around me, my managers and whatever else round about me noticing something, that Aileen, you'd be good at this, and I was like, not a chance, never in a million years. And yeah, and then that also gave me the confidence and I suppose some information and whatever else to then later on down the line start up my first business. And then it gradually, went for there. So, every day's a school day. Every day's a day to grow and learn. And every day's a day to do something for yourself. That was a wee bit, How did we get onto that? Does anybody actually know how I got onto any topics? So I'm being very careful of what I'm saying. just now on here because I do have a couple of announcements, as you know, and I'm trying to like not give anything away. But there's only a few days left. What's this? This is your Friday, my whatever. I might just tell you at the weekend because I don't know if I can hold it in any longer. But then I'm like, did I just do a bonus episode on Monday? What do you want? Let me know. But if I do a bonus episode on Monday, it'll literally be like a wee 15-minute one or something to tell you what it is. So I might just do the bonus one on Monday. I don't know. Can I hold it in that long? I'm going to end up telling you on Monday or the weekend or whatever, and you're like, is that it? But you know what it's like, it's not that you're scared to say, you're apprehensive about reactions and how many people are going to be interested in what you've got to say. But yeah, so I think I'm going to go for now because I'm still feeling quite lightheaded and I'm like, oh, they see me rolling. Jesus. I just don't know anymore. I just don't know. But if you remember, if you get a house to rent in Glasgow, hit me up. My wee letting agency woman that I was speaking to the other day, she says she might start getting stuff incoming starting from next week. I can't talk anymore. Starting from next week, she's hopeful. So let's see what happens. I mean, I could win the lottery before then and be able to go and buy a house. I was telling my pal yesterday about there's a farm near me, and I was like, I want that farm. There's actually quite a lot of farms near me, but I'm like, I want that one. I want that one. And he's like, it's a working farm. I went, I know. And he said, so you'd need to keep the animals? And I went, no, I don't. And he's like, no, but you do, because we're giant animals are got to go. I was like, I don't care. I says, I don't mind a working farm. I genuinely wouldn't mind having a working farm, but I would need to choose what animals are on there because we all know I'm scared of certain animals. But then at the same time, if I've got a working farm, that means there's going to attract mice and rats, and I'm not into that at all either. Not playing that game. So maybe I'll just have a big giant garden instead of a farm. Who knew life was so complicated? Me? I could have told you that. It's not. Life can be as complicated as you or others make it for you. But if anybody is looking to make 2025 a bit better for themselves this year and they don't know where to start or what they're doing, or they just need to sound out things, need a bit of support, a bit of help, therapy, counselling, coaching, anything like that, send me a message and your initial phone consultation is always free with me anyway, and that can take kind of 20 minutes, half an hour, but if you need longer, I'll give you get longer. And then after that, obviously, you start paying from the kind of first full appointment type thing. And then, but when you do your initial phone consultation, there's no obligation that you have to book in. It's one of the ones where you get a feel for me, I get a feel for you, find out your background, you get to ask questions, I get to ask questions, and if you feel you can open up to me and you're happy to proceed, then we will. And if you feel as if I'm not the right person, or it's not the right time, or it's too expensive, or whatever it is, that's absolutely fine, okay, as well. So don't be scared to phone or contact or email or message or whatever because you're worried that you're going to get charged. You won't. Only when you start doing appointments. And I have quite a high success rate. I have a very high success rate actually. But yeah, not to boost my own ego, but I'm quite proud of the work I've done so far. And excited for what's coming next and how we're going to move forward and getting in the house. I genuinely can't wait to move. This house has been a bugbear for a long time, but like I say, always appreciate the fact that I've got and thankful for the fact I've got a roof over my head and a house for the two boys to live in. So I'm not ungrateful. I just need a little something bigger and a little something that's not make me ill or my boys. Anyway, gonna go. I think like I said, Saturday, Sunday should be visual and audio, but we will update on that, because as we know, we don't even know if Aileen's got to wake up half the time. We don't even know if Aileen is awake, even when she's talking on this podcast. I mean, I could be sleeping just now, giving you all this information, and that's how my head's so much. That's how the words don't come out right, because Aileen's not quite, she's not quite there. Never quite there. But anyway, take care of yourselves. Message if you need support or somebody to speak to, etc. If you would like any information on any of the therapies that I offer or the coaching that I offer, you can send a message. Remember, we can do one-to-one, we can do family, we can do group, we can do within business settings. Something for everybody. Hallelujah, praise the Lord. Anyway, sorry, that was just a wee bit of an ADHD moment there. Sorry, I'm having to add this bit in because I don't know what's happened. Something's went wrong at the end when I was editing. I noticed there was a bit missing from the end. Typical Aileen. So the end bit might be somewhere at the beginning, and I do apologise if it is. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your week. If you're still off work, enjoy your last few days off before we all go back to normality on Monday, where schools and everything are back together. But take care, look out for each other, stay safe, and I will hopefully speak to you all soon. Bye bye.